I want to read from your book.
Yeah.
Let's read from page 365.
Yeah.
This is the book in question. You told the story, 365. Yes. I'm coming. You said, the man who came hunting for us was President Olusegun Obasanjo,
Yes.
Ige's friend for many years, who became our relentless foe. He and Ige met in the late 1960s when both of them served in the government of then Colonel Adeyika Adebayo, the second military ruler of the Old West. Since then, Obasanjo had dogged Ige's path like an evil spirit. Evil spirit.
Yeah.
Why did you use evil spirit?
Because I know they appear in the open to be friendly.
But behind the scene,
It's a different matter.
you said during his reign as military head of state, Ige gave him a wide berth. Yet Obasanjo would not disappear from Ige's path. The evil spirit was lurking around, right? In 1982, it was Obasanjo's unsolicited intervention into the crisis in the Oyo State UPN that led to the night of long knives in Yola.
Yola. Yes.
Tell us the story.
Yes, it was an interesting story. I was coming from Cuba. I met a friend, Jim Wobodo, in Spain, and persuaded me to wait to watch the World Cup, football game between I think Brazil and one other, maybe Brazil and Germany, I can't remember now. So we watched the ball and Germany defeated Brazil. So I angrily left Spain and I slept. I decided to sleep in Britain with a view to coming back to Nigeria. As I was trying to unpack or resting in my hotel, a phone rang. It was Baba Adewale Thompson. And he said, "Oh, I'm in London. Do you know where Chief Awolowo is?" Honestly, I didn't know. And I let him know I was just arriving in London, but that I should find out for him. I called Segun Osoba. Segun Osoba told me where Awolowo is.
Segun Osoba was a journalist there.
He was a journalist there. And I gave it to Papa Adewale Thompson, the address. And Segun Osoba told me Awolowo was a guest of the British government, and that Papa Adewale Thompson should keep the address on a wrap. So Adewale Thompson went to Baba Chief Awolowo. As he was coming back, he asked for me, and he met me in my hotel and said, "There is something dangerous happening." I said, "What's happening?" He said, "Lady Adebayo came to Awolowo with a letter written, from home, that Bola Ige and Afolabi attended a meeting at the instance of Obasanjo, at which Kam Salem, somebody from Maiduguri, can I remember now, Mungono, and some other big names in the MPN were present. And they were asking Bola Ige, Afolabi, to let Bola Ige contest as governor, so that he will eventually take over from Shagari, and so that the two of them should allow Shagari to win again against Awolowo. That kind of, I don't know what to call it now, mischief anyway. It never happened. All those things never happened. But it's a lie, and written in a letter to Chief Awolowo. So they showed the letter to Papa Adewale Thompson. And Adewale, was shivering and came to me and said, "Come and see what's happening." They said, "Bola Ige went to a meeting at which Ali Mongono, Kam Salem, everybody, all these were, MPN something." And the decision was that Bola Ige and Afolabi should allow Shagari to win again against Awolowo, so that Bola too will be allowed to win, and Afolabi will have to succeed Bola, while Bola will now succeed Shagari. So when Papa Adewale Thompson told me the story, I was worried myself, because I knew that the day I was going to Cuba, I left Bola Ige in Ila Orangun with the Orangun of Ila. And as I was entering Ire, I saw SM of Afolabi driving to his house. And I was running to Lagos to catch my flight. And the date they say was about that date. It doesn't appear true to me. So I changed my flight that evening. I decided to return to Nigeria. I arrived early in the morning to meet Bola Ige. And I told him, this is what I had. He got worried. And he told me, yes, there was truly a meeting. It was Obasanjo, SM Afolabi, and himself, only 3 of them, that they met somewhere at Bodija here. And that the meeting never started until about 9 p.m. And that he had nothing to say other than Obasanjo begging Afolabi to allow him to contest and for Afolabi to run with him for another term. And because of what Obasanjo was saying suited him, he didn't have anything to say than to thank them. But they weave, lie around his neck so as to cause a problem between him and Awolowo and so on.
Interesting.
So, when I told him, he told me that story, and I left. But immediately he took his pen and wrote to Awolowo about the meeting and what transpired. So the letter was delivered to Awolowo by hand about the same day or second day. Immediately Awolowo got that letter, he phoned Afolabi. I understand there is a meeting with Obasanjo. Let me have a version, your own version of the meeting in writing. If possible, put the letter at home for me. Afolabi didn't write. He might not be able to write.
He might not be able to write.
Because, he's not that vast. He may not be educated enough to write. So he didn't write. But the letter was leaked to the press.
Bola Ige's letter?
No.
Or the previous one?
The mischievous letter.
Who wrote that letter?
I don't know, but Lere Adebayo, delivered it. It was a letter written maybe by Omishade, and Adelakun, or by Adebayo himself, Lere Adebayo himself. But Lere Adebayo delivered the letter to Awolowo.
And hell was let loose.
And hell was let loose. So there was party leaders in Yola. Well, we don't even know it was going to be a big thing. Bola Ige said this year and myself, we traveled to Yola as party leaders only. And we got to that meeting to see that plane loads of people were coming from all places. Supporters bowed, making a noise around the whole place, trying to blackmail Bola Ige as being anti-Awolowo. Who
were the arrowheads of this campaign?
Adelakun, of course. But all the others joined, like Odunjo, like Omabori Owo, like SM Afolabi, it's a concourse anyway.
The intention was to make sure that UPN denied Bola Ige a second-term ticket.
Oh, yes. Because they wanted the same denial to be given to Ajasin and to be given to Bisi Onabanjo in Abeokuta.
And Awolowo listened carefully.
Oh, he listened. People, so about 23 people contributed to debate. I have a minute of the meeting. They contributed to debate. Ige Akande even moved a motion that Bola Ige and Afolabi should be removed from the party.
Akande was the governor of Lagos State.
Oh, yes.
He moved the motion.
He moved that motion.
Why did he do that?
Oh, because, it's part of the intrigue. Intrigue of leadership. He moved the motion that the two of them should be expelled from the party.
Was the motion seconded?
I can't remember what happened before Chief Awolowo intervened. But Chief Awolowo intervened by making long statements and remember all that the two of them had done for him when things were very bad in the First Republic. And he said he was certain, the two of them were not the way they were branding them. But that it was unfortunate for the two of them to allow, and because everybody knows, it is certain from their statement, from Bola Ige's letter, that a meeting was held. That Afolabi and Bola Ige and Obasanjo were at the meeting. But it was not certain whether the other people were there. It was not certain whether what they said they agreed upon was agreed upon. And Chief Awolowo was able to unravel all this.
And at that time, many felt that Obasanjo was Awolowo's enemy.
Oh, Obasanjo never hid that. Obasanjo wrote in his book, he said it everywhere, that Awolowo was his enemy.
And this was an Awolowo loyalist going to settle an issue with...
So Awolowo felt, don't scatter my loyalists because somebody who is not part of us. That's the conclusion of what Awolowo did.
And Bola Ige survived that night. He survived. At what point did SM Afolabi resign from the government?
Oh, when we came back to do a primary. At the primary, he came third or something, or fourth, I can't remember. Bola Ige won. So he deflected.
Were you expecting to be nominated as the deputy governor?
Oh no, I didn't even dream it. I was at home, being made a chief. I was in my village, being made a chief. So it was the last day of my being made. I didn't know how it happened. Noise everywhere. What's happening? When they came, they told me it's being announced on the radio that I was being made, that the House of Assembly has approved unanimously that I was the deputy governor. The trouble, I started another problem of running from fire to fry pan.
Bola Ige loved you.
Oh,
he loved you.
And I love him